Priya Chopra founded 1Milk2Sugars, a public relations firm when she was only 22 years old. Today on Biz One-on-One, she's going to tell us about her experience starting a company that young and how she grew, evolved, and adapted to create a company that's now making a major impact on the market and poised for even more expansion. And Priya is going to share with us her 2 keys to sustain growth in a business. Welcome to Biz One-on-One, Priya. I'm so excited to meet you.
Thank you for having me.
There's got to be a story behind that name.
Everyone asks that question even 12 years later, this name. So the name started because we were 3 partners, Milk and 2 Sugars. The milk was the male, the 2 Sugars were the female. We just thought it was a fun, playful name, and it stuck. People would always comment, and it would actually get us new biz because they'd be like, and looking on their caller ID, and what's this company? Let me pick it up. Who's this calling me? So now the name has evolved. We have a philosophy behind the name, and just like how you take your coffee, how do you take your coffee?
I take it black.
You take it black. So however you take your coffee, I'm a double person. But just like how customized it is to take your coffee or your tea, such is our approach to our service offer. So it's never cookie cutter. It's personalized, it's customized, just like your cup of joe.
When you started the company, it was much different than what it is today.
Yes. Yeah, this company, I started, as you said, quite young. So I consider it to have 2 chapters, the first half and the second half of this story, if you will. So the first 6 years of the company, because I started young, I was sort of just figuring things out, just doing one day at a time and actually thinking it wouldn't even last, if that's possible.
It's funny about that, isn't it? Because we think, oh, it's all about goal setting and whatnot, and so many companies just sort of stumble into greatness.
One thing leads to the other. You have to be extremely focused and committed and determined, and it's not easy. So that's why you also think it may not last, because there's other options available to you as well. So I'm really happy it sustained, and we're still kicking around and doing our thing. But the first half was a communications company. So basically, full service communications house, anything from graphics to printing to design to PR to events. So really saying, yes, 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 we can do this, and yes, we can do that.
Wow, total jack of all trades.
Jack of all trades, master of none, that expression. So sort of a revelation happened. A lot of things personally, professionally came together for me around 2009. And there was a big recession happening in Canada at that time too.
Oh, I never heard about that.
Yeah. Remember that day?
Oh, maybe that's selective, the selective remembering,
that's
not remembering.
So during this whole era, I decided to just kind of go my own route, take what I was always delivering to the business, which was media relations, doing what was my passion, and starting saying no to certain business and just being true to what I wanted to do to really go niche on our offer. And that ended up being a really good move.
So you decide to focus more on what you're calling not just sort of anything to do with communications, but PR.
Exactly.
What is PR? What was PR then and what is PR today?
Now, with the movement towards everything digital and online, that's where marketers, that's where brands want to be. Whereas when I started, it was all about the glossy magazines and the publications that were, all value and prestige was all held in print. But print is changing, and we're living it.
Well, print is disappearing.
Well, that's it.
It really is. Mm-hmm. And I'm not quite sure that most companies have really realized, they hear about quote unquote social media.
Yes.
But what is social media, first of all?
Yes.
But it's really all about this amazing shift over just the last few years to that mobile device. I mean, at the airport, everybody's on it.
Yeah.
Every kid is on it. It's so pervasive now. So how do you get your clients in front of their audience creatively through mobile devices?
So we were lucky because I think we started offering social media in 2010 or 11.
Wow.
And just by chance, so it was one of my employees, was a blogger. Her name was Trish. If she's watching this, maybe she'll remember this moment in our office. She said, Priya, I have a blog. Why don't we start offering social media? And even though there might have been 5 years of a gap in age between me and her, to me, that was not my thing. I said, well, okay, I'm the PR expert. If you would like to lead it, please, by all means, help me out.
Wow.
And she launched it for me. And honestly, I'm so happy we got our foot in the door that early because we were able to launch some really interesting digital programs. We actually won an award for a program that we launched in 2012 with influencers. And now the whole notion of influencer marketing is huge.
So you've been growing your business, and you're now at a point where you're talking about taking it to the next level. What would be your advice, your best 2 tips? We promise this. Your best 2 tips on growing and sustaining a business.
I think for a lot of entrepreneurs, it's hard to delegate tasks. They want to take ownership of everything A to Z. And I was one of those people. But when I had children, I couldn't stay awake at night. So by default, I wasn't able to do the hours that I was once putting in. So by virtue of that, just naturally, I started to train a team. And this team over time was, the first point of contact for clients. And of course, I was always there, and I was in the background, sort of like a producer. But I think a key part of growth for any business is to recruit solid talent to be able to grow the business. Sometimes you have to invest, and you may not have the business right away, but it will come. Your team will be able to take on certain tasks. It will alleviate you from doing the day-to-day. You can think big picture. It's been a real big formula of success for my business, and I really encourage other people to think about that.
So that's tip number 1. What's tip number 2 for sustaining a business?
Tip number 2 is about cash flow and having access to capital. I think that this is so important. If you really want to escalate the pace in which you want to grow your business, first of all, you have to be able to manage your cash flow, to be able to obviously manage all your HR costs, all your operational costs, be able to run your business successfully, and also wait to be able to receive payment. I think having a good cash flow is so important. And then just, if you want to grow, you need an injection of capital. It's something that opened my eyes because I started my business with 0 loan. So it's a shift in thought for me. And it's been something that I've been educating myself about, and other firms are also educating me about it. And I think that it's opened my eyes to the possibilities, and not thinking it might take me another 10 years to open that New York office. So I think that access to capital is key, and exploring your options, even if you're not there yet, just kind of planting the seed in your mind of the possibilities of what that could do for your business. I think that that's a great thing to think about.
Super fun, and you seem to be all lit up about what you're doing, and I congratulate you, and thank you so much for joining us on Biz 101.
Thank
Priya,
you.
Chopra, congratulations.
Thanks so much. Great to meet you.